you had a chance to address your team. Just what's your final thoughts, or what you might have shared with them on their way out?
Yeah, we're actually going to meet at 11. Most of the physical, those things are taking place. We'll let the doctors do that, and then we'll meet at 11. Then I'll start meeting with different guys individually. So, no, the message is the same as it was in locker room. How proud I am of them. Adversity that we had this year, and just watch different guys step in and step up and seize opportunities. I mean, that's very gratifying as a coach.
And you're going to have a much different team. Obviously, the NFL, that's the nature of it, right? But for you in particular, the Bucs, with so many free agents, whether it's on the offensive line with Kappa and Jensen, or Chris Godwin, the defensive backs, Carlton Davis and others. Do you think you see this as sort of a rebuild in some ways, or just how do you assess what the job will be in the offseason?
The reload, like it is every year. For us, free agency will be our guys, and see how many that we can get back, and then build the team from there. Always look forward to that part of it, and the draft. So, yeah, each year is so different and so new. Last year was to get everybody back. It was amazing, and doubt we can do it all again this year, but we're sure going to give it our best.
Elaine.
Hey, Coach, I know you've always been really open with us about things that you've learned, even as a coach. So I'm curious, and I don't know if you've even really thought about this because it is so raw, but is there anything that, looking back on the year that you learned about this team, or maybe that you would have done differently, or how will you ultimately kind of remember all this?
About the only thing I've done differently, the last 40 seconds different yesterday, because the rest of it is what it is. You come to work each day and there's challenges. You meet those challenges, and this team did that. So, and this coaching staff did it. So, yeah, I mean, there's no regrets of any kind. Would I do differently? No. I played the last 40 seconds maybe better yesterday, but other than that, no regrets.
And you mentioned the last 40 seconds, and you talked last night already about the all-out blitz, and there's some folks that are criticizing it, but you've also said, hey, like, not everybody was on the same page. Not everybody got the call. So what would you kind of say to those folks? Because it's an aggressive defense, and a lot of times that aggression has generated positive results for you guys.
Yeah, it's who you are. I mean, no regrets. And I think everybody did going back, looking at it, we didn't have, everybody got the call. I was wrong about that. They all got the call. We had Sue come up the middle. We got to cover better in that situation when we're going after the quarterback. They don't need like possibly 12 yards for that field goal. So I don't question that call whatsoever. But when we do that, we got to get to the quarterback.
Thank you.
Hey, Bruce, we talked to Levante last night, and he mentioned first that he thought this was one of the tightest, closest locker rooms he's been a part of. He also used the word turmoil, and I wanted to ask you if you think that's I guess an accurate word for just some of the distractions and some of the non-injury adversity you guys dealt with this year.
Yeah, I guess you'd have to ask him, what he meant with turmoil. I'm guessing it was what you just said. All the injuries and the different bodies each week, putting game plans together for different corners every single week defensively, offensively, the same thing. So as far as the locker room, yeah, this is probably the tightest locker room I've ever seen.
Bruce, you'd mentioned last night, obviously Tom's decision is completely up to him. Do you have any sense in terms of what the reasonable timetable is for when you'll know if he's back or not this coming season?
No, I haven't talked to him yet, and but I'll take all the time he needs, and we'll see.
Thank you.
Joey Knight.
Coach, everybody knows what the goal was for this season, but how will you look back on 2021? Will you still look on it as a successful season?
Yeah, I think with everything that went on this season, it's never success unless you're putting rings on your finger and confetti's coming on your head. But that only happens for one team. And but I'm very, very proud of this team. We did not reach our goal, but I like the way we fought to get there.
Scott Reynolds.
Bruce, there was a report that Tristan Wirfs needs to undergo surgery to repair tendon damage in his ankle. Can you confirm that report? And if true, what is the timetable for his recovery? Is it going to keep him out of OTAs?
It would definitely keep him out of OTAs if that's the case. But I don't think that decision's been made yet. I mean, he's looking at his options. That's one option. So I haven't talked to the doctors yet, but he is looking at two different options.
And then Leonard Fournette took a major step forward in your offense this year, kind of picking up from where he left off in the postseason in 2020. What's the level of importance in bringing him back, given how much he can help you, not just as a runner, but also as a receiver and pass protection?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the top guys that of that big ass group that we've got free agents, and we'll sit down this week and start prioritizing and see whose paychecks or what, and it's going to be a while before we see what other offers are out there and everything else.
Steve Isbitz.
Coach, after the dust settles over the next day or two, do you pick up the phone to the GMs or owners of the teams that interviewed Byron Leftwich and Todd Bowles and sort of give your best endorsement of your guys?
If they would ask, but they're not going to ask, and I'm damn sure not calling them.
And if Coach Leftwich were to move on, would you consider calling plays next season, or is that completely off your coaching plate at this point in your career?
No, it would be there will be a really good chance, yes.
John Romano.
Hey, Bruce, everybody is kind of focused on the final pass to Cooper Kupp on that drive. Was the pass before that, the completion to him, just as damaging in terms of getting them close to field goal range and sort of forcing your hand on what you do on defense?
I don't think there's any doubt, John. That was the biggest play, in my opinion. And, we've got two deep safeties and man-to-man underneath, and we fall down and trip. And that was a bigger play, I think, than the last one.
Luke Easterling.
Bruce, in terms of the coaching situation, assuming that Byron or Todd both could get a chance to be a head coach, is there anybody you would have in mind on your staff currently that you would think of to replace them in either of those roles?
Yeah, I've gone through a number of different scenarios in the last few weeks, just in case, and we'll have to wait and see.
Thanks.
Greg Auman.
Bruce, you've got a lot of guys, 30 plus on this roster. Of those free agents, of those guys whose contracts are up, is there anyone you know that he's calling it quits that might be done and not be coming back?
Not that I know of. I haven't talked to them yet. I'll talk to all of them this afternoon. But the way they played, I doubt anyone wants to give it up.
Thanks, Bruce.
Jenna Lane.
Hey, Coach, back to your response to the question about the play calling. So if Byron were to get a head coaching opportunity somewhere, you would consider, or you would take back play calling duties? And if so, how do you kind of manage that? Because I know that was kind of a health concern previously. So how would you kind of manage that for yourself in terms of just health and delegating and things like that?
Yeah, it would be a number of different things. Just who is on the staff and what we're doing, how we're compiling it, and doing the meeting each day and all those type of things that go with it. I wouldn't be doing all of that. So it's just a matter of who and what happens in the next few weeks, how we put that staff together.
And I know there's uncertainties at the quarterback position, and you're going to give Tom all the time he needs, but you just mentioned kind of having some contingency plans in mind for if you lose either of your coordinators. But will you be kind of going over possible contingency plans this offseason as well if Tom doesn't return?
Yeah, we do that with every position. So quarterback, obviously, you start there, and again, see where we're heading, and wait and see what Tom does. But we'll be doing our homework that's for sure.
Rick Schaub.
Bruce, along those quarterback lines, do you think if Tom were to not play anymore, do you think there's a better than average chance your next quarterback's already on your roster?
I'd be comfortable, Rick, if it is. I like what we have. But again, you never know what's behind door number 2. We kind of went down that road 2 years ago, and there was Tom Brady. So, we'll have to wait.
Yeah.
We have time for a few more. We'll go to Sarah Walsh.
Hi, Bruce. A year ago, after you win the Super Bowl, it sort of fueled everybody in the sense that they were like, okay, that makes us just want to go get another one that much more. And I'm curious, when you lose in the fashion that you did in such a heartbreaking way, does that fuel your fire in an off season or going into a season in a different way?
Yeah, I think once you start rebuilding the team and the guys, the core guys that are still here, they're not going to forget that. That's for sure. And there'll be a different sense of urgency, I think, coming into OTAs and minicamp and as we put the team together.
All right, that's all we have time for. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys. You've been great all year.
Get to like, subscribe, and share all of our channels. Check us out. Hey, tell us what you think about it. Are we hitting it on the nail on the head or are we not? Please leave a comment. Let us know. Tell us how the flow is. But don't forget, this is your boy MC D Rex, and I'm out. Peace.